Well, hello there, everyone. If you are watching on replay, if you're watching live, if you're jumping right in, we're a couple of minutes late, but I still try to get in as close to 1 p.m. as possible. Thank you for joining me today. I am Alan C. Paul. This is the Creatives Checkup. This is our God and Gigs live edition of all of the different ways that we connect with our creators to help you thrive in every area of your creative life, whether that's in your faith, in your finances, in your career, in your family. We do all of that to help you and to solve one specific problem. We always try to solve one specific problem that's affecting you in your creative life. So I thank you for joining me. The first thing I always try to do is get everyone to make sure that we are being heard. So if you can comment, if you like this, if you're watching this on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube. Oh, wait, we are not live on Instagram yet. That's important. I'm glad I caught that. So we are now going live on Instagram. And so if you're watching this, give me a thumbs up, a hello. If you are hearing me okay, because that's the first issue, is to make sure that technically everything is working. So I always try to make sure we are being heard and that we are being seen everywhere that we're going live. All right. So even as people are starting to come in, and if you're watching this on replay, I want to tell you what we're going to be talking about today. This creative checkup is all about getting paid, all about getting paid. And when I say getting paid, yes, I'm talking about money. I'm not talking about getting paid in full like Rakim. Some of my R&B, hip hop fans back in the day remember Paid in Full. I almost named it Paid in Full. I named it Where the Money Resides because I even like that, a little bit of a throwback to a meme that got viral a little while ago. But basically, all today is about making sure you get paid and making sure that you have the processes in place to get paid as a creative. Because what I've found is a lot of creatives say they want to make money and do this for a living, but they really haven't structured or put things together so that they can get paid. And even if they were doing amazing work, they don't necessarily have the process in place to make sure that they can get the money that they are working so hard for. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, if you like this video, if you like this topic, you can share it. You can definitely do that on the socials. You can text somebody, but probably the most effective thing you can do is to like and subscribe to these channels, like it on YouTube, like it on Instagram, and share it or bookmark it on Instagram. Even though we do erase this after a while because we don't keep all these on Instagram, but just sharing it at the time does help us. And of course, on Facebook, if you're watching us inside the Creative Checkup group, that is our Facebook group. You can also like it there. You can also obviously follow us in that group. And it's definitely good for you to comment and let StreamYard, that's where we're going live, is how we multi-stream. Let people know that you're watching and let people know, let StreamYard know that you want to have your comments shown on screen with your name. There's a little link that you can click there and it allows you to share when you want to make a comment, and I can put it up here on the screen. So today's agenda, let's get right into what we're going to be talking about today. And today we're going to start with our news and notes, which is always, hello, Pamela's here today already. Awesome. So good to have you, one of our 360 Gold members in the house. So it's always good to see Pamela. You're joining us on YouTube. Awesome. And that usually means that everything's working, because that's the other part. Again, before I do this and I jump around and I'm checking the internet, I'm trying to make sure everything's working correctly. And there's this panic moment right when you hit play and right when you hit live that you're thinking, what if something didn't go right? And I'm literally talking to no one. That is a legit fear I have every time I go live, even though I've been doing this for years. So Pamela, good to see you. Definitely always good to have our 360 Gold members in the building. And I'll explain more about that in a second. So today's checkup points, we're going to talk about obviously our news and notes, what's happening lately. We'll do that pretty quickly in the next couple of minutes. Then we're going to get into our vital signs, the 3 ways of getting paid and 3 ways that you need to do or things you need to do to get paid. There's different ways of getting paid, but then there's 3 keys to making sure that you actually get the payment, keep the payment, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to make sure we go through that. And I'm no expert, by the way, on any of these things. So if you have more resources as you listen and you're thinking of something, post it, share it. Tell us some more things. This is a conversation, not just a monologue. Okay. So then we're going to get into the lab work. The lab work is right now what we're working on, which is our website glow up. which is really cool. I'm super excited about this. Lots of different announcements, and even some I didn't get a chance to put in the slides. So I want to tell you how that website glow up and all the stuff we're doing is really exciting, and how it's going to help you to elevate your visual impact as a creative wherever you do this. Even if you're not necessarily a content creator, we're going to help you to glow up your visuals, okay? Because we're doing it and it's helping us. And then we're going to get into our consult, which is what's your creative personality. This is super exciting. We got a new quiz that's come out, and I'd like to know what you think about this quiz and whether you take the quiz and what's your creative personality. That's going to be super cool. And then our prescriptions will be last. We'll talk about our quiz. We're going to talk about our 300th episode that's coming up, which is, can't believe it. We did skip this last week for the first time in years. I missed the Monday, but it was for good reason. Some of you watched the live stream on Monday night. I did a live stream on Sunday night, where I did go a little more personal, explain some of the things that are happening in our lives. And that's why I decided to skip Monday and simply wait until we could do the 300 episode with style. But we are going to definitely do it. Don't worry. We're going to do it. And I'm going to talk about how you can watch that. Okay. So that's our checkup points for today. Always, Pamela, since you're here, you get to always be representing our 360 Gold members. The membership is continuing to grow. We welcomed Claudette a few weeks ago. We welcomed Via, who is our VA, and she is an amazing creative in her own right. Always glad to see Precious. Precious Tinker's been doing some amazing things. I think Precious has a book coming out very soon. Of course, Victory and Charmaine also is working amazing, doing amazing things with her creative digital strategy business. Everybody in there, like several of these people in the Gold program, are established creative experts, which means they're experts in their field. And then there's many of them that are also incredibly gifted and talented creatives, and we're all sharing each week in our mastermind meetings and our forums. All that's in 360 Gold, our own app. I will explain more about that, but that's what's happening. And then all the guests that you see over there, the guests are the people who have bought one product and they are hanging out in the forums. They don't have access to live coaching and membership perks like that, but they do get to hang out with us in the membership. So that's what's happening in 360 Gold. And as I mentioned, we had a glow up, and here's the exciting news I can tell about that. I don't have a slide for it, but if you go to, actually, maybe I can type it in. If you go to Mighty Networks, now Mighty Networks is where we house our membership. It's the platform that we built the membership on. And I think I'm going to get this right. Someone check out this link. I'm typing it now because I forgot to do it. I think this is correct. I'm really nervous. I'm going to check it out really live right now just to make sure this link is correct. Let me see if that's correct. Yes. All right, cool. All right. I want to make sure before I posted it. So if you go to Mighty Networks /find/spotlight, okay, if you go here, there it is, and you type it in, and then you go to the spirituality section, and you'll look, and guess what you're going to see there under this section? You're going to see God and Gigs 360 Creative Community. Why? Because we are one of the featured communities in Mighty Networks. Now, let me make this clear. Mighty Networks is like the OG of membership platforms. It was probably, I'm pretty sure it was the first. And the fact is that they reached out to us and said, would you like to be one of our featured communities on our homepage? This is huge. So shout out to everyone in 360 Gold and 360. You guys are now one of the featured communities in the Mighty Networks platform. They only chose 30 for September, 30 platforms, 30 communities, and we were one of them. So if you look under the spirituality, you got to go down the tab. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Since again, I'm doing this literally in front of you guys, but let's just go ahead and share screen for a second. It's going to take this away and see if I can do this without messing anything up. I'm literally doing this in front of you guys. Didn't plan it. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yes, cool. All right. So if you're looking there, you go to Mighty Networks, and then you're going to go over to spirituality. Click on spirituality. And there we are. That is where you will find that particular link. And I'm so proud of just this community, that many of you guys hung in there. There weren't that many people there. There weren't that many people talking at first. And now we are growing. Now we are getting noticed. And what's most important about this is not that it shows me or gives me any glory, is that obviously it gives God glory, and it puts a spotlight on the people who are doing this work, the people who are literally right there transforming their God-given talents into thriving creative lifestyles, okay, who are actually doing the work. Thank you, Pamela. I'm so blessed by this. This is this is a big deal. I mean, it really is a big deal. I usually like try to downplay stuff like this, but for us to be number one, the very first community listed on featured communities, is a big deal. And it shows that we are doing the right kind of work for our creative community so that you guys can continue to transform your creative lives from the inside out. That's the goal. That's what's happening. So that was super special. So I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that. Glad I was able to jump into there and do that little slide thing. But let's switch it back. Now that we're back to this. And oh, that's right. This is also some of the news and notes. Speaking of the website glow up, I'm going to talk about this a little later, but we also have a new quiz that is out, and that is super special because it helps you discover which of the 5 Christian creative personalities you are. Pamela, I don't know if you've already done this or yet, but if you haven't already gone to godandgigs.com/quiz, godandgigs.com/quiz, it literally takes you like 5 minutes. And what it's going to do is it's going to take you through a series of questions that's going to ask you some things about your creative life, about your way you approach creativity, the way you think about yourself, the way you think about yourself as a creative. And then it's going to give you an answer of which of these 5 creative personalities you are. And after that, it will also give you some options to get deeper into some ways to accentuate, to work on your weaknesses, to accentuate your strengths, these kind of things. Okay, so you haven't done it yet? All right, so I would suggest you absolutely go check that, Pamela. I will send, yeah, you can use this link. There's also another link. It doesn't matter. They all go to the same place. They all go to the quiz. This is the shortest version of the URL. So yeah, go check that out. And I would love to see, especially you, Pamela. I want to know which one you get. I'm really interested, because if I think you're going to get what I think you're going to get, you're going to be shocked how accurate it is. I've been very impressed. Wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I've been very impressed with how spot on some of these answers have been, because everybody I've given it to has got an answer that was pretty much like nailed where they are right now as a creative. And it was uncanny. Like, it really was crazy. Like, I was like, this thing really works. So go check it out. We'll talk more about that a little later during the consult. Okay. But I wanted to share that that's happening right now. Okay. All right. Let's get right into it, right on time. 15 minutes. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk about our vital signs today. And what we're going to talk about today, as I mentioned, is getting paid. Getting paid as a creative, the 3 essential steps you need to take to get paid as a creative. Now, the first thing you might think is, well, of course I want to get paid. And it's pretty simple. I ask for money, I give them something, they give me money back. Would be a wonderful world, wouldn't it? If that was all we had to do. If all we had to do is simply ask for money, give somebody a product or a service, and they give us money, and that's the end of it. That would be great. However, you and I both know this is not how the world works. We can't just say, oh, open business, start thing, write song, play song, write music, whatever, photography, create movie, get money. We all know that's not how things work. What it really boils down to is that there has to be a process between you creating something and finally seeing money in your bank account. There isn't just this kind of quick thing. Like, I would love it if everything was like the cash. You saw the guy holding cash. As a matter of fact, today I went to a breakfast with a great friend of mine, great creative friend, really one of our established creative experts. He doesn't know he is one yet, but I'm going to tag him and make sure he knows he's one of the established creative experts. We want to get him in 360 Gold. But we went to a cash only restaurant, and my friend got there first, and he texted me and he's like, bro, this place only takes cash. And I can't do anything for you because I'm not carrying cash. And I was like, man, I got it. Now, thank God somebody who also believes in cash had just tipped me the night before from one of my, recent gigs. So I had some cash on me and I was like, oh, we're good. Look, we're rolling with cash. So that establishment has decided cash only. We don't care about all this credit card, all these processing fees. We want to just get paid in a cold, hard cash. So pretty simple process, but even they have to have a process of how they make sure that the money gets from their customer into their hands and into their bank account or wherever. Even the people that are only cash have to have a process to make sure that they get paid, right? So we're going to break down the 3 simple but very important steps, and many of these steps people skip over, okay? So let's get into it right now. There's 3 essential steps to getting paid. The first one is a place to pay. Now, this might seem super obvious, but it isn't. What I have found that many people start something, they open up a business, they open up a product thing, they do it, they say, hey, come get my thing, come buy my thing, come, listen to my music or whatever. And they do all the things and they create the thing and they get super excited. Oh my gosh, I'm opening up a product, I'm doing something. And then I might go actually to check it out. I might say, cool, where do I pay? And there's no information. There's no link. There's nowhere for me to give you money. So the first step to getting paid, and again, you might listen to this and say, wait, that makes no sense. Why would you want to get paid, but then not make sure there's a place to pay? But that's what's happening. People are setting up these different things where they want to get paid and then forget the very first step is make sure there's a place to pay them. So we're going to talk really, take our time. This is not a fast creative checkup today. We're going to take our time with this because I want to make sure that this makes sense and that you have actionable steps to take in case you have skipped one of these steps to make sure that you get paid. So first, let's talk about in person, which I just described in my restaurant situation just a few hours ago. Obviously, one of the obvious ways to have a place to pay is when someone is in person. So you are there, they have the money, they have whatever, the credit card or whatever, and they pay you directly right there. That's a place to pay. That is a transaction. It's the place where the transaction happens. However, we all know that very rarely in these days and these times and days that people get paid directly in person anymore unless you're at their store, right? Now, things usually happen on websites in the internet. Payments are usually made now through some type of electronic means. Are we together there? By the way, if you are watching and you are together with me, then go ahead and tell me that we are together. Wow, I needed this. Thank you so much, Kingdom Culture Ministry. I appreciate that. That's why I paused for a second because I want to make sure I'm tracking with everyone. All right, so thank you so much for that. Now, let's talk about the 3 other ones. And again, I'm not an expert, but this is just kind of like breaking it down so that you guys kind of really see that this is one of the things that people skip over. One other place that people can pay you could be your website. Now, this obviously goes to the point that you should have a website. And if you have a website, there should be a place on your website where people can pay. This is the part that many people forget. You set up a website. You get all this stuff together. You say, I want to open up a website. I want to create my creative space. I want to create my place, my home base on the internet. And then people go to or not even like and subscribe. See, that's where I even got caught right there. I shouldn't be saying like and subscribe. They go to pay and they can't find a link. They can't find a place where they can actually give you money. And again, this is where a lot of us get tripped up because we just don't think about the fact that, wait, if I want to make a living doing this, if I want to offer my services, if I want to be blessed and then bless others, And then I don't think through it to make sure there's a place that I can be paid and that the person can actually pay me on my website, I've kind of missed out. Because what happens when the person that wants to give me money and wants to pay for a service can't find it? Where do they go? They usually give up. They say that you usually have about 3 seconds for someone to stay on your website and decide what they're going to do. And then after that, I'm pretty sure it's even shorter to decide if they're going to go through with the transaction. So if it's not abundantly clear where they pay and how to pay, they're not going to. So that's a key one, that we have to have a place to pay on your website. We're going to talk more about that again in a very, very general fashion, because I can't go through all the details in this particular creative checkup. There are many more experts that can explain how to do that. But the key is you got to have it. 2, make sure, or 3, I should say, a third-party payment site. Now, again, this could be your Cash Apps, this could be your Venmos, this could be your PayPals. This is a place to pay where they click on a certain link or they have a certain thing and it goes directly to a third-party payment site where that's where they pay, right? They might pay on your website, but they also could pay directly to that third party, whatever that thing is, Cash App, Zelle, all those things. They can send you the money directly, but it's basically going through a third party, right? It's not directly to you. It's directly to the payment processor, and then they send it to you, right? They're the one that handles that. And then, of course, there's social media links, which kind of goes to both website or third party. But the reason I mentioned social media is because there are social media links that also pay you directly through that particular thing. Facebook, you may not know this. Facebook has a way that they can pay you through Facebook through these little things called stars and these little donations. Have you guys seen this? So Facebook allows you to get paid inside the app. Twitter, X, has a way that you can actually donate and pay inside their app, inside of X. YouTube has super thanks and different membership things once you get monetized, where you can get paid directly in the app, or they can buy merchandise if you're monetized inside the app. So they don't have to go outside of the particular social media platform that they're on. They can simply pay you right there. So they're on the YouTube, they're on Facebook. They don't have to go Zelle you. They don't have to Cash App you. They don't have to go to your website. They pay you directly inside the social media app. Okay, if this is making sense, please let me know with a comment, with a yes, got it, because I'm going to move on to the next one. But it always helps to know that this is making sense to everyone. And by the way, let me stop real quick and say hello to everyone joining us on Instagram. I see you, Jordan. I see you, Kayla. I see you, Phil Bates. Very cool to have Phil Bates here. Good to see you, brother. And Manuel, good to see you as well, brother. So hopefully this is blessing you as well. Please like, share, and comment if you're following or if you're watching live. And even if you're watching on replay, it would be great if you put a comment inside the comment area, because I can still respond. The conversation continues even after this. Great to see you. All right, Manuel is with us. Awesome. All right, let's move on to number 2, the 3 essential steps to getting paid. The second step is a way to process the payment. Now, here again is something that I think a lot of people miss out on, and I am not an expert in this. I simply have done it myself, made these mistakes. I'm going to try to help you keep you from making these mistakes. The second step, which is you have to process this payment. Now, again, in cash, guess what? You're the payment processor. They put it in your hand, you take it to the bank, right? You process the payment in cash. But in any other electronic situation, 9 times out of 10, you need a third party to process and get the money from wherever they put it to your bank account, right? So this is, again, something that many creatives, many of us do not even think to set up, because we just say, okay, well, just pay me the money and I keep it and I get it. But what if you don't have a place that processes the payment? If they can't take a credit card, if you can't take a credit card, and you don't have a system set up that takes credit cards or takes debit cards, you have no way to process the payment. So you've got a place to pay, but you don't have a way to process it. Is everyone understanding this? This is why I had to break it down really simply, because these are the steps that can keep you from getting paid, because there's nowhere to process the payment. So let's talk about the different processors ways to process the payment. And again, this is not exhaustive. This is just a basic overview, okay? So examples of payment processors. One is Stripe. Now, if you have not heard of Stripe, Stripe is a company that processes these payments. They connect with different organizations, different brands, different companies, and you pay them, you pay the company, or they pay you, should say. We're talking about being paid. So somebody pays you, but Stripe takes their credit card information. Stripe takes all of their information, their customer information, all that, and they actually process the payment. All right. So the money does not go directly to you. The money goes directly through Stripe. And again, I hope I'm not messing any. If I have anybody that's financial, like a guru here, and I mess up something, go ahead and tag them. Tell them, hey, is he crazy? Because I don't think this makes sense. And then bring him on so he can correct us. Okay. This is how I understand it. So Stripe is the payment processor. Now, before I go any further, if you are a creative and you have not set up a Stripe account and you have a connection with a app that uses Stripe, then you're missing out because Stripe could be handling those payments. Now, another one is PayPal. PayPal, many of you are familiar with, right? So PayPal will take care of the same processing. You can pay through PayPal. You can do it directly, but PayPal also processes for different companies and things like that. So if someone wants to pay you and you have an app with them and they say pay you with PayPal, PayPal obviously processes that payment and then you link your bank account to PayPal and then PayPal can send you the money. So they process the payment. Square is another one. Square, I think, is a little different. I might be wrong about this, but Square is also a processor. They have the little apps, they have little squares and things like that. And I'm pretty sure they operate just like Stripe does, but I'm not 100% sure. I believe Square owns Cash App as well. So here's where I'm just going to say, hey, do your research, but here's the key. If you have not connected with one of these payment processors or another payment processor that processes credit card or debit cards, you are missing out on getting paid. Why? Because there's no way for those payments to get to you because there's no processor that links you to those. So yes, you can get paid through Cash App. Yes, you can get paid through Zelle. Yes, you can get paid through some of these other Venmo, right? Here's what I'm trying to explain. If you are only connected with those things, Venmo, Cash App, you're probably limited in how much you can collect because these apps are not necessarily designed for a full business kind of operation. So if you are just doing business and you say, oh, well, just Cash App me, you're not going to be able to get all the information from your customers. You're not going to be able to store and track as well as you could if you were linked with a Stripe or a PayPal or some other type of payment processor that keeps this information. When I go into my Stripe, I can see who has paid me over years and I still have their customer information. I can still see if I can email them or not. This is outside of any other app. Inside Stripe, I have accounts set up where I can see who has paid me and why they paid me, when they paid me, if the credit card information is still there, subscription information, all of that is still there. PayPal, to a lesser extent, has these same things. I don't know about Square, so someone has to look that up. These are accounts that you need to have if you want to get paid. Because again, just going through Venmo, going through going through Cash App, these are not enterprise level, creative business level apps to really keep up with stuff. So I suggest very, very strongly that you check out Stripe. If you haven't set up it, it's super easy to set up an account. But the key is, do you have a link? Remember, let's go back one. Do you have a place to pay? And does your place to pay link with one of these payment processors? If one of these payment processors are set up for that, then there's a link that will take that money from your payment processor and then put it in your bank account. And each one of these solutions has a place where you put your bank account. And I'm not going to gloss over that because I know that's important. Obviously, the very last step has to be that the money gets from the payment processor to you, which is where you put your bank account in these informations and in these particular locations. And that's where the money gets to you. And that's where, as I said, the money resides. Okay. Now, last but not least, We got to have a way to track the payment, because here's the 3 steps that are super important: place the pay, process the payment. But then if you do not track the payment to know that it got to you, and know that, and here's why I counsel you against just getting paid with Zelle and with Venmo and Cash App. It's why I would say these really are being phased out by a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses are not recommending that you use these apps anymore for security reasons, I believe. But there's another reason why you should not simply do this through these types of apps. It's because of this last step. How do you know what people paid for? If somebody Cash Apps you for a particular thing, unless they put in the memo, this is for X, this is for this thing, how do you know what they paid you for? In Venmo, unless they say this is for blank, 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 are you sure that you know what you got paid for? Do you know? And then the tracking becomes super hard, because now I got to go back and say, wait, I think it was this gig or this thing, and then they paid it was 100. Okay, so it's this date. Oh yeah, all right, that's what it was for. I've been paid, right? We haven't even talked about invoices and stuff like that. We're going to get to that in a minute. But the key is, again, even if you had an invoice, even if you sent an invoice, how do you track and make sure that you got the money that you were supposed to get for the specific thing that you spent or that you sold, that they spent money on? This is why, once again, we're slowing it down and think about this. Do you have a way to track what you've been paid and how it was paid, and that it is paid? All right, here are some ways that you can track what you've been paid. Now, obviously, the first one is spreadsheets, manual. Write it down, right? This came in, this was this much. And this is the one, like I said, I would highly recommend it, because this is horrible for me. I cannot handle this. And this really drives me crazy. Let me see. I want to go quickly because I just saw some comments. Actually, we'll go back to the comments in a second. I did not see these comments. I had my screen over it. So I'm going to go back to these comments. This is great. We'll do a Q&A real quick after this. This is absolutely great. I'm so glad this is helping you. So spreadsheets and manual tracking. Second one, software like Quicken and QuickBooks. This is accounting software. I should have put accounting software. That would have made more sense. Okay, so this is where obviously people can track their stuff. And here's the key. Obviously, you want to make sure that these are linked to your business, so that you know when certain payments come in that it is tracked through your accounting software. So I'm not a QuickBooks person, but my wife is. My wife does QuickBooks for her business, and she is very aware that when a certain donation comes in for her nonprofit, that it goes into QuickBooks and it goes into her accounting software, and she knows where it is going. That's linked to the different payments so she knows such and such paid this, such and such did this, it came in here, accounts paid, right? There's also cloud software like Bill.com. Now, Bill.com is the one that I use. I don't use it for everything, but I've been using it more because it allows me to send invoices, and it allows me to put in when a bill is paid, even if it's paid through a check or whatever. It creates the invoice. It sends the invoice. I think QuickBooks does this too. If anybody has any other suggestions about things that create the invoices, so you can send them and make sure that it's tracked to it's being paid, that would be definitely a good one to look at for. I'm going to go ahead in the comments and as soon as we finish this. And then, of course, there's native payment tracking, which is inside the app. So inside Stripe, as I mentioned, you can see when people paid. And there's also ways where you can actually go ahead and catalog that inside a Stripe. There's also obviously PayPal, where you can reconcile those accounts and make sure that it's paid. Again, I'm not a financial guy. I need to talk to Sam Mabry. Sam Mabry should have been doing this with me. Sam, if you're watching this later, please help me out with this. Let's do this seminar for real, for real. This was just an overview from a novice and from a person that's just handling it and doing it. I would love to get an expert in on this. But here are the things that you have to do to track it. You got to make sure you know when you got paid from X. And here's the key about it. Make sure that you actually know that things are going up or down. Be able to track whether you're making more money or less money, whether these things are working or not working. Because if you're not tracking it, you have no idea if something could be doing excellent and you don't even know it. And you should be doing more of it, selling more of it, making more of it, writing more of it. You should be doing more of that thing, that creative thing, but you don't know how much you've made money from it. Perfect example, I'll give you a perfect example, is my book. I still get paid from Amazon for every sale of my book. It's royalties. It comes in. I never see it actually come in, but thank God I have it tracked in my software, which is also called Hurdler. I have this one called Hurdler. So Hurdler tracks everything that comes in and puts an automatic rule on it so I can see, oh, wow, I made another $100 for my book. Maybe let's just start promoting that a little more. This actually happened, by the way. It actually happened. I saw it and I was like, I made $100 this year for my book. Like what? I haven't promoted it in 3 years. Maybe I should start promoting that thing again. That's how this happens. You got to have a tracking software. And actually, I saw that also in the invoice inside of Amazon's um, invoice that they send to me when I get paid. No, I think it was through my publisher. Either way, all that to mean know what you're being paid for what, so you know what to stop, what you should lean into more, so that you can actually track this. So that's why it's so important. All right, so let me get into some of these comments. I love this. Let me go back a little bit. Pamela said, got it. Can you talk about the pros and cons at third-party sites and the fees associated with those? Great. I am not an expert on all of these things. I can say that the third-party sites in general do have fees, and you have to know what you're being charged, right? So I would say I'm being careful here. I'm not a fan of PayPal. I use it because I have to, but I'm not a fan. It has been a little more expensive than I like. And there's some other third-party sites that I use, like for ticketing, that I just find that it's cheaper. And so, and many times I can do it where it's just directly through Stripe. I do it through Stripe. Stripe also does have payment fees. All of them do, because that's how they make money, right? They make money off of these individual transactions. So the pros and cons would be just know how much the fees are. Pay attention to, and you have to do a little bit of reading. This is the struggle. You do have to do a little bit of reading. See, okay, when I pay for X, when someone pays me, how much are they actually taking out? How much am I getting? Some of them have instant payouts where you can get paid out right away, but they take that little fee, right? And then you pay a little more to get it into your account in 1 to 2 business days instead of 3 or 4. So I would just pay super close attention to the terms and conditions and see how much they're actually charging for that. And as far as the third-party sites, this includes Patreons. This includes other membership sites. Patreon, I think, raised their fees recently. Once again, think about this. Do you really want to be paid through a site that charges you 10%, 20%? You need to try to find another avenue for your third-party site so that it is minimal fees. That's my best I can think of to explain it, Pamela. It's just third-party sites are great, but they're all going to take a certain chunk, and you want to know whether or not it's really, worth the amount of chunk that they're taking. Let me see here. Kingdom Culture says Square also store the payment data. Oh, awesome. Okay, so they do store your payment data. I wasn't sure. Thank you for helping me with that, because I really wasn't sure. She says they also have an appointment app that helps you create services and send invoices to your clients and track. I did not know that. Thank you for coming in, sister, because you are helping me right now. Awesome. I now know what Square does. They also have a free account and priced accounts, and they also notifies you when invoices are sent. Thank you for helping me on Stripe. See, God knows who I need before I need it. I had no idea how to talk about Square. I just did not know. So now I feel much more comfortable. So we have a vote for Square as far as payment processing. Awesome. And I see Victoria is also here. Thank you for joining us, Victoria. This has been awesome. I was not expecting this particular topic to be like my strong suit, but I am blessed that this was helpful. So I am absolutely going to ask you to put in any other questions in the comments, and I'm going to see if I can get an expert. Let's do a webinar on this. Sam Mabry is my resident financial expert. There's some other experts inside Guiding Gigs 360 Gold that obviously I would like to lean on, but Sam is the very first person I think of. So I'm going to ask her if she wants to come in and do a webinar on this, because as an accounting whiz, I got to imagine that she would be amazing on this. So here's a final word. Ensure that you have all the pieces in place to get paid. Okay? Ensure that you have it. Don't skip over any step. Have a place to pay. Have a processor, and then have a tracking mechanism to get paid so you know what you got paid and when you got paid. All right, awesome. Let's move on. This has been great so far. I love this one. All right. Let's talk about our website glow up. I am so excited for this. This has been like a whirlwind for me because I am not the best of all the coders and the website designers and all that kind of stuff. That's not me. However, in this case, I've been super, super excited about this website thing. Okay. And let me explain why. Because honestly, for years, I have designed my own websites just because I just couldn't afford a designer. And it started to dawn on me that I might be losing a lot of people because what I realized, and I'm going to talk about this in a future presentation I'm getting ready to do. Hopefully, I'll be doing soon. I'll share this with you. You tell me this makes sense. As a podcaster, I use a lot of audio. I obviously am using audio right now. It's no longer visual. So I know that the power of the voice is one of the most intimate and most powerful, is persuasive ways of explaining your message and sharing your message. But people do, I know we talk about faith is, we walk by faith, not by sight. But let's just be honest. In terms of business, people want to see it. Seeing is believing when it comes to business. So the way I would say it is like this: audio attracts, but video verifies. The visual verifies, right? So when you hear something like, oh, this sounds good, well, let me check this out. But you want to see it, right? Someone talks about a restaurant. Okay. But now you want to go to the website and you want to see what they were talking about. So visual verifies, okay? So what you heard, you want to make sure it looks like what you heard. Am I right now? Is this making sense? So this is why all of us creatives, we need to make sure that our websites are virtual, are visual. Everything that has to do with the visual side does represent us well. And again, you're talking to a bootstrapper that has never paid a graphic designer for a website. Never done it. Not once have I had a website built for me. However, I am so glad that I have these tools like Canva, even this was with beautiful.ai, which I think is a free account. I think I used a free version of this. So I'm able to elevate my visuals and then make sure that the practice of StreamYard, this very thing right here that I'm using, StreamYard, these elevate my visuals. And then there's some other tools that I've used to help elevate my website, even though I built it myself on WordPress. And then, of course, with Mighty Networks for the membership site. So do you guys want to see the website? I'm going to check out a little bit. Let's just see before I go any further. Does anybody want to see the website glow up? Because I'm proud of it, but maybe you're like, well, whatever. Let's get to something else. Maybe we don't need to look at the website. I could just move on. But this has been working for me. Okay. All right. I will see. I'll wait for the comments to see if you say see it or show it or share it or let's see it. So yeah, I don't see anybody. So I guess you guys we can move on. I don't know. Or maybe this is delayed. But point is that this website glow up does include a lot of these tools that I've been talking about for a while. You know what? I want to see it. I might show it just because I want to see it. Victoria said yes. All right. So I'm going to take that because I'm like, I want to show it off, but maybe it's not as exciting to you guys. All right. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second because I got to make sure I pull it up. And I want to see if the bar. Oops. That's the membership site. I forgot where I was going. I got to find my own website, y'all. Let's see if it opens. It didn't open the bar. All right. Well, I still think it's worth it. All right. So here is the website glow up. Y'all ready? Let me go ahead and get share screen here. And add to stage. And let's make it bigger so y'all can see it. All right. There we go. Now, you might look at this and say, all right, kind of looks like it looked like before. Well, let me tell you what has changed on the website so that you can see why this is a huge shift for me and a glow up. Okay. First of all, that picture on the side there, I used to have all kinds of different pictures and I didn't know what picture to put, but finally it was like, you know what? This needs to represent what God and Gigs is all about. And it's about thriving. And then the same thing has to do with the top phrase up there, which I used to have. I don't know what I had before, but now it says, discover the thriving creative life God wants for you. That's what I want everyone that comes to this website to do. When you come to this website, I want you to, and you should know right away what you're going to get. What you're going to get is information on how to thrive as a creative the way God wants you to. That's the goal of this website. And so long it was just like not really saying that. And even if I wasn't selling anything, it wasn't really, like doing anything to even help people discover the thriving life. So I went ahead, we changed that. Now, what's interesting, I should say this, is that I did not change the theme. I thought about changing the theme and making it more visually, appealing and different colors. And I was like, you know what? Nah, it's not the theme. The theme is not the problem. It doesn't need more colors and super flashy graphics and other stuff. It needs to just have more stuff. So what you can also see is up at the top here, a ton more menu items. And here's why the menu items are super important. It's what I just talked about. I wanted to make sure that on this page, if you wanted to pay for something, you could pay. And so right there, you see buy merch. If you click this button, it opens up another site. And let me do this one. And you can actually buy merch. I wanted to make sure that right away, it opens a different tab, by the way. So it does open a separate tab. So, but I said, I have nowhere for anyone to buy anything. And if they wanted to buy a shirt, if they wanted to buy a mug, like they can't because there's nowhere to buy merch. So let's put that on the website, buy merch, and make sure that it was there, okay? So we got that going for us now. Also, right there on the top, I also put join hundreds of Christian creatives who are gaining timeless wisdom, increasing their impact, and becoming more confident in their creatives weekly. Right away, people can add their name and their email. They can sign up for our newsletter right away. And by the way, you might notice that all of this is above the fold. Let me see if I can move this out of the way. I want to make sure you guys can see how do I do this? Cinema layout. I might go away for a second. There we go. Let's go away for a second. I don't need to be seen. So what you also see at the bottom, because I was covering it up, are these reviews. Now, I use a tool called Senja to do these reviews, okay? And this is so cool because, again, this is all above the fold. And when I talk about websites above the fold, that means that before you have to scroll anything, all of this is here. A place to pay, a place to sign up, what we're exactly about. And right there, right at the bottom, is saying who is a viewer, a reviewer, who has said good things about us. We talked about social proof a week ago. This is showing the social proof of this website from the get-go. You don't have to scroll at all. You immediately see that and again, the reason I'm telling all of you guys this is because I want you to use these kind of tools, okay? You have to use these tools on your website, and all of this cost me. Spreadshop is free. That was the merch site. Connecting my email was basically free. You can do that with a free account. Senja has a free account for up to 15 testimonials. You can check out Senja. Let me show you. Let me make sure I have that link of Senja. So all of this you can put on your websites basically for free. Let me make sure I have this. Is it Senja? Does it work? Yes, it does. Okay, I'm making sure it's working. All right, let me put that link just in case you guys want to check out Senja, because this is like my favorite app right now. Okay, Victoria. Okay, so I'm very money challenged right now, being a one-income household, but I'm serious about my content. Are there any free tools where I start up, and will they be pinned? Great question, Victoria. Yes, these, like I just mentioned, many of these tools are free or have free tiers. I will go and make sure not all of them are updated, but if you go to godandgigs.com/toolkit, let me go ahead and make sure that's in links as well. Toolkit. You'll see many of these are already set up, and I'm going to update this very soon. Actually, today, I'm sorry, very soon. I'm going to update this today. guideandgigs.com/toolkit. I don't think I have Sinja there yet. I will load the thing for Sinja. They have a free account. ConvertKit is where I put my email address. You can do a free account with ConvertKit up to 10,000 subscribers. You can get free resources for what's another one mentioned? I said, Spreadshop to buy merch. Let me go back to Spreadshop for a second. Let's click on buy merch. And it opens up a new tab. Make sure it's sharing that one. So Spreadshop is free to set up. It's crazy. Think about this. All of this merch that is here available to buy costs me nothing. It costs me nothing until someone orders it. So you can go in, put your logo, Victoria. If you want to have some 12th Street top back gear, Spreadshop.com. I'm not an affiliate Spreadshop. I make no money from this reference. I'm sharing what I have to share. So if you go to Spreadshop.com and just start loading up some of your graphics and then just put that link on your website, buy merch, people can buy your merch and you get paid. Again, here's where you need to have your PayPal or your Stripe set up, right? So you set up your PayPal, you set up your Stripe, or you set up your Square, whatever the one that works with Spreadshop. You set in your bank account information, probably just your bank account information with Spreadshop. And you can have your merch. Let's get that out of the way, the little cookies thing. So yeah, you can have your merch up for free on your website. Okay, none of this costs me anything. All right, so let me go back there and make sure. So yeah, I really hope, Pamela, my pleasure. I'm so glad I'm helping you. I'm going to absolutely make sure that this is all updated on the toolkit. My friends who have been so instrumental in helping me like design a lot of this stuff over years of working on this stuff. So I'm really proud of the glow up, and I'll do a quick scroll so you can see what else is there. This was all above the fold. The key of it is above the fold. You see the reviews, you see the podcast, you see the membership, the recommended tools. I need to make these drop downs. That's something I forgot to do. I need to make sure that this is a drop. Is it a drop down? No, it's not. So I need to make sure that's it doesn't need to be a drop down. So we'll figure that out. Then you have the podcast here, or the God and Gig Show. Has anybody noticed what color I'm using a lot more of now? How I've switched my color palette as well to something that my wife loves. So we have the book there. Once again, people can actually buy the book right off the bat. They can go and get the book. And then for our mastermind. So this is still a work in progress, but this is light years better than what I had. Light years better than what I had. So this is like, honestly, I am so thankful that like I finally just stopped being so concerned about, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the money to do that. Awesome. Okay. My pleasure, Victoria. You're welcome. Kingdom Culture Ministry. I'm so glad that you're getting this. All right. This is a blessing to me, y'all. So I have 5 minutes. So let's quickly get into the last couple of things, and then we're going to call it a day and get y'all on your way. So let's go over here. Let's see, how do I advance this? I got to go back to where I was so I can get ahead. Oh, this is share screen. No wonder I can't do it. I'm confused. All right, there we go. Where's that glow up? Oh, this is just some of our reviews there. I forgot to take this out. So this is some of the Sinja's website reviews and things that I can get. And you can create these, again, for free. 15 of these testimonials you can create for free. And these are the things that are on there. And look who that is. Pamela, look at that. Surprise, surprise. Let me answer this question real quick. So I pay for my website. Someone just told me to do a landing page for free. Any thoughts? This is a good question. I would ask, what's the goal of each one of those things? Now, landing pages can be built in something like ConvertKit for free. You really don't need to, like, that is a website. Let's make something clear. I'm so glad you're asking this question. So yeah, let me go here. So a website is basically just a website. It is a page. A lot of people think that there has to be, and I just showed you on my website, I didn't show you any of my podcast episodes, any of my blog posts, nothing else on that page. It was just that. That was kind of like a landing page. It was a front landing page. You don't have to have more pages for the website to do its job. So it depends on what the purpose of the website is, right? It depends on the purpose of the website. So if your website is only purpose for you, exactly, Victoria, let's think about your podcast. What do you need people to get out of your website when they go there? Well, obviously, they need to find your podcast. So Podpage does that. I think they have a free tier as well. But if you pay for it, just decide, is this doing what it needs to do? Because if they're going to your website and it's, I pay for Podpage and I pay for WordPress. I do pay for mine, but it also serves a purpose for each one of those things because I needed a place for my blogs. I needed a place for more information and I wanted it to be a certain way. So the hosting doesn't spend a lot of money. It's not much more for hosting. But yes, if you want to do the basic, simplest thing, a landing page is simply just a place where they land and they do the thing that they're supposed to do, which I would say for you, honestly, I don't know your whole situation, but you may not need as much as you need to get the result that you're looking for. You may just need a landing page, click here, buy here, subscribe, right? So if that's all you need, you can get that in on a landing page and subscribe. Obviously, give them your email, they give you their email. That would be my thoughts. Not that you shouldn't pay for a website. I pay for my websites in terms of hosting, but that's normal. Like you pay for hosting and you pay for like WordPress, like you pay for that. That's a normal annual expense. But in terms of what you needed to do, if you just want to set up a ConvertKit landing page and it just have 3 things on it, I wish I could show you real quick. If you jump in, girl, you need to be in 360. I want to show this to you and I want to show you at length. And this is where Pamela would tell you, like, it's so much easier to tell you guys stuff inside the membership. You have no idea. Like, I'm like kicking myself right now because I could do an entire thing on this inside the membership. But I'm just teasing like, okay, GodandGigs.com/membership. Okay. Because I could do so much more on that, but I got to start finishing up. We're going to go over a little bit today, probably. So let me go over here. And where am I supposed to be? I got lost. Here we are. Oh yeah, the quiz. So the consult. The consult is everybody go, kind of like goes with the prescriptions too. Go to GodandGigs.com/quiz and let's find out what creative personality you are. Now, here's the thing. I mentioned it earlier that those of you who are, I don't want to say what the 5 categories are. And let me go ahead and pull up that actual link there. See if I have it. I don't have quiz up there yet. I thought I did. So GodandGigs.com/quiz. I apologize. I did not check on Instagram at all. Y'all forgive me. I'm going over today because I didn't check on Instagram at all. I've been all over the place. Y'all got me excited. I'm all over the place. All right. So GodandGigs.com/quiz. Okay. So that's where you go to take the quiz. Okay. GodandGigs.com/quiz. Channel Strip over here on Instagram. I would love to interview on my channel. Thank you. Thank you, man. I wish I could pop that comment up. I hate that Instagram doesn't let you do this. StreamYard does everything they can. So I appreciate StreamYard for letting me do everything I am doing. But yeah, so GodandGigs.com/quiz. We'll talk. DM me, please. Channel Strip, please DM me since you're on Instagram. I can send you my information. I'd be honored to be interviewed. That's really, really cool. I appreciate that, man. Okay. And I say, man, I apologize because I can't even see the picture is so small. So brother, sister, I apologize already. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not even sure if I saw that picture right because my eyes do not work. I cannot see with these glasses, y'all. So forgive me. Hopefully I got that right. Don't want to offend anyone. All right. So GodandGigs.com/quiz. After you take the quiz, let me just remind you what's going to happen. Okay. It's going to ask you, remember we just talked about signing up for email addresses. Okay. It's going to ask you Do you want additional resources after you get your result? If you click skip, you're going to just get your result and that's it. But if you say, yes, I want more additional resources, you will get an additional email that will take you to some resources. It is for purchase. We just talked about it, but it's only $10. So we'll give you an option for $10 to get an entire set of videos dealing with every single issue that a creative personality like yours deals with. So it will be a curated section of our membership. So it basically gives you access to our membership, and it gives you 12 videos tailored to every single creative personality. So I can't tell you what the names of them are because I don't want to give it away, because then you might start trying to answer, try to get the right personality you think you are. I don't want you to be biased. So I'm not telling you what the personalities are. You have to go through the quiz first. But once you go through the quiz, I highly suggest, this is not just because it's a paid product, it's because these specific things are the things that keep creative personalities like yours stuck. Because if you're a certain kind of creative personality and you don't address these issues, you don't actually improve from being that particular personality to what I call a confident creative. We're trying to get everybody from these different personality types to confident creative. That's what I want everybody to get at the end of this test. I really want everyone to get confident creative, but not everybody's going to get confident creative. So we're trying to see, how do we get you from where you're at to confident creative? So once you take this quiz, enter your email address, and then I will send you the link to get the free access to Guiding Gigs 360 Gold with the complimentary videos. Again, the $10 is a one-time $10 fee. It is not the membership that you pay for week after week after week and month after month. That would be Inspired Creators Collection, which I again recommend, but I didn't want to do that to anybody. So the $10 extra bonus, 12 videos plus, oh God, I didn't mention the established creative experts. So you get a ton of information, y'all. You get a ton of information, all tailored to your creative personality. Let me see. Channel strip. All right, let's do it. But can I bring you on my channel? Of course. Let's talk. Let's talk about how we can do that, man. I'd be glad. Man, again, sorry. Let's talk about how we can do that. I keep feeling like I'm messing this up, and I don't want to mess anybody up. I look super nervous. All right, so go ahead and guidinggigs.com/quiz. All right, prescriptions. Oh, I saw over here someone guessed the color. Who got the color right? All right. Oh, no, where is it? There it is, Pamela. Yeah, Pamela got it. Yep. We moved to purple. So part of me said, oh, this is too clashy. Like it's too much like pushing in your face. But I'm really liking it. Number one, I am not in any fraternities. Okay. Let's just say this. But a certain fraternity I know of would be very happy with my color choices. All right. I'm not going to say what that fraternity is because I'm not a member of any fraternity. But if you are a member or know someone in this fraternity, yes, these colors do seem like I would be representing that fraternity. I do not. I'm not a member of any fraternities. But when I saw the color palette, I was like, oh, so, someone's going to think I'm trying to say something. I am not saying anything about any fraternities at all. It just happens to be the colors that pops like to me. Okay, so please make sure that you guys don't think that I'm trying to rep any fraternities. I am not. Okay, so descriptions for this week. One is get ready for our 300th episode. We're getting ready for our 300th episode, and I will probably do that tomorrow. I've been back and forth on how we're going to celebrate 300 episodes. So if you guys have any suggestions of what we should do for the 300th episode, let me know. I am definitely still trying to figure out like what's the most appropriate way for us to do this. I'm trying to get back to my thing. Sorry, I'm messing with this. I can't remember how I did it before. Anyway, whatever. This is fine. So I want you guys to think about this. What do you think would be a good idea for our 300th episode? I'll probably do that tomorrow. And then also, the quiz is a prescription. Make sure you check out the quiz. That was the other prescription I would like you to do, what to do next. So make sure you do that. Okay. And last but not least, I would say a prescription for this week. honestly, is what we just talked about with the website. I might do this as a challenge. As a matter of fact, what do you guys think we should do as the next challenge? I'm talking about specifically 360 Gold and 360, our membership platform. GuideandGigs.com/membership, by the way, if you're interested in joining us in the membership. GuideandGigs.com/membership. But I'm wondering, should we do a website challenge, like a visual challenge, like a glow up challenge for creatives? Because here's the thing, I've always felt like I did this once before and I felt like it kind of bombed, but it was because I really like didn't think it through. Like, how could I encourage people to get their visuals better on their websites and their social media, how to use these free tools? I think I have a better handle on it now. So I think we could do like a glow up challenge where everybody improves their visuals, where everybody uses tools like Canva and free tools like Senja and like these things to say, hey, how can you, with just a couple of tweaks, elevate your visuals so that the audio attracts, but your videos verify? And so again, and this goes for every single creative space: musicians, artists, photographers, coaches, consultants, everyone who is creatively impacting the world, right? You are creatively impacting the world. You're not just performing artist. Okay, I want to make this clear for everybody because I've been really struggling with the whole, like, who do I really speak to? Do I just speak to people doing gigs? Like, not really. We really are speaking beyond the gig, God and gigs, because it's and, but the and is beyond. So God and whatever comes after that. God and gigs and performance and writing and, right? So all the ands after God. God comes first. So I'm wondering if you want to do a glow up challenge. So let me know in the comments as you're watching this. If you're watching this on replay, even right now, I've gone to 1 hour, 8 minutes. So I'll close off in a second because we went over. But if you think a glow up challenge would be, if you would be interested in a glow up challenge, just put glow in the comments. And we'll decide if we want to do that, or email me at alan@guideandgigs.com. I do want to have, we're in September now, so I would like to have a September challenge. That would be really cool. We could do a consistent creative challenge, which we haven't done in a long time, but I'm not sure yet, like what the challenge is going to be. So let me check the comments real quick before we land the plane. We have Isaac, the creator, is joining us on Instagram. He says glow. Okay, so you would be interested in a glow up. All right, so I'll look for a few more. If I get like 3 glows, I think we would do it, because we've got about 3 or 4 of you on. So 2 or 3 would be a majority. Okay, so that's how I'll know if we're going to do a glow up. And once again, let me just remind you of the website. I would love for you guys to check it out if you have not looked at the website recently. GuideandGigs.com, simple as that. And you can also see the quiz there. It didn't pop up, but there's also a pop-up for the quiz that pops up there that you can find as well. So that bar doesn't show up. I need to change that so the bar shows up, okay? Let me check the comments one more time. I have 1 glow over here. Oh, we got 2 glows. Okay. All right. So we have 2 glows. All right. So that's half. Okay. So all right, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. I gotta see how that's gonna work. Because again, I'm not a web designer. What was probably good is that I'm not a web designer. And I think part of the reason why I'm nervous about it is because I always think like, oh, I have to show you how to do websites. And the point is, you should have a good visual without having a web designer. I think that's the point, right? I think the point is we should be able to look our best as writers, photographers, musicians, podcasters. We should be able to look our best and not have to pay an arm and a leg for it. So I'm kind of convincing myself right now. We got 2 votes, so that's half. I'll wait to see if there's 1 more vote later on through the comments. Okay, so we'll see what the comments say. But right now we got 2 that say let's do a glow up challenge. And I kind of like the idea of it even more now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, okay. Well, We have gone over 111. I don't normally go this long, but this has been a blessing. I think I got to get ready for some stuff that's happening later on today. Got to get ready to do the 300th episode. That's exciting. Um, a lot going on. A lot going on. Remember to go check out the Mighty Networks thing, that we are a featured community in Mighty Networks. That's super special. So godandgeeks.com/360. Remember, if you want to join us in the membership, remember you can do that at godandgeeks.com/membership. That's totally where I think a lot of these conversations need to continue. But Pamela's already there. Simone's already there. So those of you who are already there, you want to check out godandgeeks.com. I'm not already there. godandgeeks.com/membership. Okay, if you want to go check that out. And see our glow up there, because we also had a glow up inside the membership as well. That's what I think. It's what, like, we're all glowing up around here. All right, y'all. I'm at 112, 1 hour, 12 minutes. Let's go ahead and call it a day. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Again, share and like. And if you have not liked or followed us, we don't do it for likes and follows. We do it for relationship. Okay. I want to build relationships with those of us. We're not building an audience. We're building a community. I am 100% against building audiences. I hate the term. I will stand on that as my dying day. We don't build audiences. I'm not building an audience. We're building a community. We're building an arc. Okay. Noah didn't build a audience. He built an arc. Okay. So that's what we're building here. And I hope that you will join us. Again, the membership is a great place for you to join us. But any way that you join us, I hope that you will continue to grow, to thrive as a creative from the inside out. Okay. That's our goal, to become the creative that you are created to be. God bless you guys. Victoria, thank you for joining us today. She hung out with us all day. Kingdom Culture Ministry. I don't have your name, but thank you for joining. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Clicking the wrong button. Thank you so much for joining us. Pamela, you are a rock star. Thank you so much for joining me today over here on Instagram. Loved seeing you. Isaac, the creator. Art Soul Radio just joined us. Channel Strip. Make sure you DM me. Jody Carlin McCullough was in the building for a second. Oh, I missed you. James Joyner and Antonia Janae. Manuel, the minstrel, joined us. Thank you so much for joining me, brother. You are absolutely part of our God and Gigs 3 community. Hope you join us in 360 very soon. And all the rest of those who joined us on Instagram, thank you as well. God bless y'all. Until the next time I'm here, remember, continue to become the creative that you were created to be. And thank you so much again. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you all. God bless. We'll see you next time.